suits. And it says on that MSDS sheet that any worker who is not properly equipped with those items should not be in the spill area. Now I ask you what I ask the residents in Forward and our state environmental protection: where's the protection? Where are the respirators for you guys? Where are the coveralls? And I'm appalled when I read in the newspaper that the gentleman who's the CEO of TVA says that our plant workers are in that all the time. You're all right. I would ask the people in this room to please start demanding that TVA release to you and to the media their MSDS sheets for that facility. And I think you're going to see something different. I'd be shocked if you didn't. What we faced in Forward was we were on our own. So we got with some national environmental groups who were groups that work, they're nonprofit, on education. And we learned very quickly the number one thing we needed to do was to sign petition letters to the Agency for Toxic Substances and Disease Registry. They're part of...
It's in your packet.
It's in your packet. They are part of the Superfund law. They were created when an emergency, when a catastrophe like what you're experiencing here happens. They are equipped to dispatch toxicologists and other health professionals to evaluate your exposure and to dictate how a cleanup should be done properly. It doesn't cost you anything. When you send your letter to the ATSDR, they are by law obligated to keep your name confidential. They do not tell anyone. If you choose to tell someone you signed a petition letter, that's your choice. But the ATSDR will not release your information. It only takes one letter. But it sure would be great if everybody here either turned in a letter for somebody to put in a packet and send them all together, or take it home and put the stamp on it and mail it today or tomorrow. You need objective eyes. You need health professionals looking at this situation and saying, this is not TVA's to clean up with their own directive. You need to pierce the vacuum they're working in. They're deciding, I heard somebody say it, that this is like a bank robbery, and TVA is allowed to do the fingerprinting at the bank robbery scene. They are not objective in this. And they want to do a cleanup that may not be in your safest, best interest. That's what we found in Pennsylvania. When we got the ATSDR to come in, it did start to change things. I won't kid you. It's a very long uphill fight. But the number one priority for me in 2005, and the number one priority for me here today, is your health and your protection of your health and your kids, your animals. You need protections, and you need TVA and the United States EPA to be clean with you, to be transparent with you, to be honest with you. That is not dirt. It is not inert. It is not safe as the soil in your backyard. It has heavy metals in it. The second best thing we did was we grabbed a sample in a little Rubbermaid container, and we had it sent off to an independent lab, a certified lab in Pennsylvania. And the state kept saying to us, well, we won't have those test results for 14 days. And they kept telling the media, well, we're working on it. We're working on it. Well, our lab results came back, and guess what? 30 minutes within our conference call when we released it to the media, those numbers that weren't going to be available for 14 days magically appeared. And they were exactly what we had in ours, except theirs were even higher. Ours were 177 parts per million. Theirs was 277 parts per million for arsenic. They stood there in front of us, and they stood there in front of the media, and they said there is nothing in fly ash. They let a pregnant reporter touch it and walk through it all week and never said anything. That was the second best thing. First, you got to do the ATSDR petition letter. Second, you already have folks doing some independent testing, and I will tell you that some of the test results that we're waiting for right now were paid for by the same nonprofit group that helped us, the Environmental Integrity Project, and they're out of Washington, D.C., and the gentleman who is the director used to work for the EPA, and he resigned in protest because the EPA wasn't being honest about some of the things, and government wasn't being honest. kind of a whistleblower. He is currently working on the next set of sample results, which we expect to have, I believe, on Thursday. I know that everybody has said what I said to the folks in Forward. We'll give it to you first, and then it will be released. You are the priority. And I don't feel that reading the newspapers or seeing the television, I don't think anybody's getting that. And I really encourage you to take those 2 steps. And then the 3rd step you have to do, and believe me, never did it before in my life, never sued anybody. I wasn't a plaintiff in Forward. I'm not a plaintiff in Forward. But we did something similar that you're doing today. We invited 3 attorneys, 3 law firms to come in. The residents met with them, they asked questions, and then as a community, they decided which one they wanted to represent them.